Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. The Aussie versus USA. Uncontrolled versus controlled anger. What is going to happen when Tszyu and Errol Spence get in the ring? We don't know. We're going to find out. But one thing that I'm seeing is uncontrolled versus controlled anger. That's what it seems right now.
This is always interesting when you got two fighters across from one another ahead of a fight. Usually, it is what it is, and that's usually how you are. But today, we didn't really like the energy that was being shared between one another. You being a gentleman, extended your hand. You denied that hand. You didn't like it. Errol Spence, is that a sign of no respect or just the timing, the moment?
I respect him, but it's more about the timing and the moment. And man, we're gearing up for coming into his home country. He's looking to retire me, and I'm looking to take over in his country and disappoint him and his fans. So I just feel like, and I told him I'll shake his hand and give him a hug after the fight. But right now, it's about war. It's wartime. It's time to go.
Did you feel war before you got in here?
That's all right. That's if we're gonna play like that, that's all right. Like everyone's each to their own. I get how it is. I'm good. I'm sweet with that.
Is it war now, or was it war before now?
There's no war now.
There's no war now.
There's gonna be war on fight night.
Okay, now Errol Spence not shaking Tszyu's hand. Now I know this interview is from a couple months ago when they first had the press conference. You can tell they're wearing the same thing. But what I'm getting at is for Tszyu, like he's agitated, man. And one thing about him is when he gets in that ring, he's all about bringing a war. But I thought Tszyu learned from Sebastian Fundora fights. I thought he learned from the Murtazalia fight to be more controlled, get back to the fundamentals, work behind the jab, set up your punches, incorporate the big right hand. Instead of forcing it, set it up, everything, footwork, moving around the ring, conditioning, IQ, everything. So I thought that's what Tszyu did. He went back to fundamentals and maintaining his composure and not necessarily running into a mash-up, crash-up, which is what, we've grown accustomed to seeing him do. But one thing is for sure, right? To hear him say it's going to be a war, that tells me that if Tszyu doesn't get control of that uncontrolled anger that he has towards Errol Spence, Tszyu could run into a shitstorm. Now, I will say this. When people say, well, Errol Spence is going to bring pressure, he's going to bring a high volume of shots, Errol Spence is going to bring all these things that Tszyu's not going to be able to handle, right? Look, I hear the argument, and I understand the majority of people on here, you got favorite boxing fans. Y'all biased as hell. Y'all can't sit here and speak intelligently or fairly about a boxing match, because if you like Spence, it doesn't matter what this man does, you can't see him losing. If you like Tszyu, no matter what this man does, you can't see him losing, right? I get it. But for anyone thinking that Errol Spence is going to bring this kind of pressure and volume punching that Tszyu has never seen, to that I say, in the most respectful way, to you, McNicholas, hold your horses, and let's not take it to the stupid. Tszyu only fought Fundora twice. Fundora brings that high volume of punches. He brings volume. He's got reach. He's got power. He sets up shots. The man is 6'6", 6'7", 81-inch reach or some shit. Tszyu in there, man. He was outmatched in every area. And Tszyu still went in there and performed pretty damn good in that first fight. The second fight, Fundora fought a lot taller, but Tszyu still found a way to have some moments of success. And when he fought Murtazalia, Tszyu, he was landing some shots, but the problem is he was just in there and it was okay with accepting punishment from a guy who can split your wig. So don't think Tszyu didn't learn from those three fights. At the same time, don't think that those three fights didn't take something out of Tszyu. Because he's about to get in here with Errol Spence. Errol Spence is much smaller than those guys. So Tszyu should be able to land more shots. He shouldn't have to worry about somebody reaching him from across the damn ring. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, from sitting in the front row, Fundora could, no kidding, be outside the ring and jabbing and landing shit while you inside the ring. That's how long this man's reach is. But you understand what I'm saying? Errol Spence is more Tim Tszyu size. He doesn't have to worry about all these disadvantages he had against Murtazaev and especially Fundora. Now, conversely, with Errol Spence, people out here talking about, well, Errol Spence, and he's been inactive, and look at his last fight. Look at what Terrence Crawford did to him. You know, Errol Spence isn't going to stand a chance with Tim Tszyu. Hey, how about this? Errol Spence fought Terrence Crawford. Are we now making comparisons with Terrence Crawford and Tim Tszyu? To that I say, in the most respectful way, hey, yo, you McNicholas, hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid. Now, y'all know I like Tim Tszyu. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. But I also am very fair and realistic here. Tim Tszyu is not Terrence Crawford. He doesn't really set up shots. Tim Tszyu will come forward. He looks for the mashup, crash up. He's front foot heavy. He's offensive-minded. If he comes at Errol Spence like that, Tim Tszyu, it's either going to work for him or work against him. Okay? Because if you put Errol Spence on the back foot, then from what we've seen with Errol Spence, that's not somewhere he's used to being. Errol Spence is front foot heavy. He likes to come forward and just sit there and destroy you. Seek and destroy mission, mash up, crash up. You understand? So to me, if Tim Tszyu somehow is able to be on his front foot and to push Errol Spence back, that translates to me a recipe for disaster for Errol Spence. But what if Tim Tszyu is counting on something like that? I'll just push him back. And all of a sudden, Errol Spence is pivoting, is rolling under shots, turning Spence and unloading. What if all of a sudden Errol Spence went out there with Ronnie Shields and this man learned more than just to have this more like pressure style, Mexican style of fighting and the style that he evolved under Derrick James, which was very effective. But maybe he went and add some layers to his game without Tim Tszyu. He's expecting the old Errol Spence. And now we do have this new and improved Errol Spence, this more polished product. A guy who's not showing any signs of inactivity. But then Tim Tszyu got a handful of problems. And he could go down faster than a plate of hot Alabama barbecue or Texas barbecue. Who don't like goddamn Texas barbecue? But what I'm saying is, Tim better control that anger, man. Because this is, in my opinion, is his fight to win. He's the one who's been in the lab at work. He's the one who's been active. He's been under a couple different trainers now. He's learned different philosophies. He's added some new tools to the toolkit. You know what I'm saying? Tim Tszyu should be in here, man, ready to fire on all cylinders and let Errol Spence know you don't come down here, come over to my country down under and think you're going to end up on top. What's wrong with you? King of the mountain, man. Shit, I'm the king of the mountain. You take your ass back over there to DeSoto, Texas. Don't come down here to Australia messing around with me. This is Zooland. You know all these animals we got out here? Zooland, man, with a T. That being said, man, Errol Spence, Tim Tszyu, I'm just watching. I still think it's a 50-50 fight, but if Tim Tszyu don't control that anger, he going to get his ass embarrassed out there in Australia. He could end up chest to canvas ass in the air like at a Diddy party. He don't want that. He does not want that. Just like Errol Spence better be careful going out there thinking he's going to just go out there and, disappoint Tim Tszyu and his fans and, that he's backfiring on all cylinders and Tim Tszyu, I respect him, but I just don't think he brings nothing to the table that I need to worry about. Okay, Errol Spence, you go in that fight thinking that shit. You're going to learn the hard way. Because I am telling you all, Tim Tszyu, in my opinion, wants this fight. I think he wants it more than Errol Spence. Now, I'm not saying Errol Spence doesn't want to win. I just think Tim Tszyu wants it more than Errol Spence. If they were fighting in Texas, I would say Errol Spence wants it more than Tim Tszyu. You just can't make me believe Errol Spence wants to win this fight more than Tim Tszyu when they're fighting in Australia. And Tim Tszyu's back is against the corner. He got somebody in front of him. Like, let's be real here. Hold your horse and stop taking it to the stupid. Tim Tszyu is not supposed to lose to Errol Spence. I don't care what you say. He's not supposed to lose to no damn Errol Spence because Errol Spence has been inactive in the breeze out there on the farm, man. I think he got a few goddamn emus and ostriches running around. He got him a little goddamn Australia there in DeSoto, Texas. You understand? He may have one or two pet kangaroo and koala bee and shit, man. A wild dingo running around out there in that goddamn acreage he got out there. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence may have a little Australia out there in his little goddamn DeSoto, Texas. But what I'm saying is, he been gone too long, man. He ain't supposed to come back and win. But Tim Tszyu has got to come out here and get the victory. But I'm just telling you, if he doesn't, all bad. But I think Tim Tszyu is the one who you had to kill him. With Errol Spence, he ain't coming there to lose. I tell you that. But if somebody gonna dig deeper, who's gonna dig deeper if they have to? I think it may be Tim Tszyu. Just like I would say the same thing if they were fighting in Texas. I'd be like, ain't no way in the world. Errol Spence, you got to kill him. Better knock him out. And that's what I think Errol Spence is going to have to do to Tim Tszyu. You're going to have to knock him out. He does not. I think they said with all the championship fights they've had there, the Australians defending titles or whatever, no Australians ever lost. Ever. I remember hearing, I think it was Jeff Finnis saying it. Somebody was saying it. Some Australians were talking about it. And I was like, oh. So, I mean, that's cool. It doesn't mean that Tim Tszyu is going to win. But I tell you again, added motivation. Added motivation, man. That being said, Errol Spence, Tim Tszyu, uncontrolled versus controlled anger. That's how it seems right now. Tim Tszyu wants to make it a war when they get into the ring. All right, good luck with that. You know, if you can control things, keep your composure. You know, if Errol Spence, he doesn't have the fastest hands, he's just consistent. He's very consistent. He has heavy hands and seems to be, at a more comfortable weight now. But I'm just saying, this fight right now, that shit can go either way. But if Tim Tszyu is not relaxed and composed, he's going to be in trouble. Same thing with Errol Spence. If he comes in there thinking for some reason that Tim Tszyu is going to be the guy who got clipped by Fundora and clipped by Murtazalia, Errol Spence is going to be in for a rude awakening. You can see Tim Tszyu is locked in. Plus, I keep wondering, why do these people keep going to Thailand? Tim Tszyu was out there in Thailand training. Tyson Fury is in Thailand training. Tyson Fury fighting in Thailand. But why the hell they keep going to Thailand? I know Tim Tszyu was out there before with his dad. What's in Thailand? I know they got some red bananas and elephants and shit. I mean, but what are they doing in Thailand? But he back in Australia now. But makes me wonder, what's out there in Thailand? What's the benefit of training in Thailand? See, I gotta look into that. Make you wonder, huh? Keep cool, I'm in the breeze.